Great. Hey, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Yeah, all right. So anyways, I'm Anthony Caravello. I'm from the Shutter Network. You probably have heard about us if you ever use Snapshot for going and voting on DAOs. And we're heavily involved with encrypted mempools if you've been involved with that space. Anyways, for today's presentation, I'm going to share a little bit of an ongoing case study on our efforts to go and encrypt a mempool on Ethereum and sharing some thoughts about how we can go about it. But first, before we begin, I just want to get a show of hands. Who's worked on something that you thought was obviously important, but whenever you go and launch it, you find crickets. You find a lot of people not really seeing what you're wanting to do. Yeah, of course. So that's also what this conversation is about today. It's the effort about how to get people to care about something that you know is important, but it's easier said than done. So again, this is an ongoing case study. This is not very finessed. It's a little bit messy, but it's showing an overview of our thinking behind that and using it as a case study. I'm also a marketer. I'm not a developer, so I'm going to be sharing things from a very high-level layman's point of view, not going into the nitty-gritty technical part of it. So as we went and we started launching this encrypted mempool EIP, my perception, and maybe some others, was it's about putting the best solution together, right? And sharing in front of the core developers and getting nods and everyone agreeing that, yeah, we need this for the Ethereum protocol. But that's actually not the case. It's actually more complex than that. It's actually about, oh, it kind of slowed down right now. Anyways, it's about getting consensus across a large group of people. There's a lot of people that you need to convince of the priority of this, and it's easier said than done on that. So you have to go and reach out to a large number of people to share what it's about, and you need to get them prioritize it over other initiatives as well. So for doing an encrypted mempool, we had to go and do a bunch of segmenting and research on these different audiences. So going and looking at the supporters, and we need to get them to not just support it, we need them to be vocal about it. Then you need to go and reach out to people that are on the fence and don't really know too much about it, and you need to go and answer their questions, find out where their problem, and try to support them as well. Then the last one, and the more difficult, is the detractors. And these are the folks that are completely against the EIP, the initiative, and may never be for it. And to find these guys, it's a little bit tricky. Sometimes it's as easy as just following the money and understanding who are the people that are obviously against the initiative. But sometimes it's not as transparent as well, because sometimes the people that are against it might not tell you front facing. They might just work in the background to try to prevent something like that from happening. Yep. Oh, is this clicker? Oh. Okay, I got another clicker. So it's about going and reaching out to them to try to mitigate that challenge as well. So how do you get a detractor to go and deprioritize their own interests to focus on the greater Ethereum ecosystem? Or how do you raise enough awareness and enough people that believe in this that they become the minority and they have to agree with it, otherwise they're the odd man out? So let's start from the beginning of this story. The bare bolts of what we're looking to do. So I know there's a lot of people, developers, different people from different backgrounds in the view, but we're going to talk about the public mempool. So the public mempool, when setting up Ethereum, which was meant to be transparent and verifiable, is the main waiting area for transactions as it moves out of the transaction supply chain. Now, this is the default place where transactions go. As they're going and going through the transaction supply chain. Now, this is a great public infrastructure, but that comes with a major flaw, which is it's transparent. And obviously that's a good thing, but there is a problem with it in that there are bots that go and monitor this and look for transactions to reorder for profit. And so there's good things that happen with this, such as good MEV, but there's also bad MEV, also known as toxic MEV, front running, and sandwich attacks. And so this has happened since since 2020, about 1.8 billion has been extracted from the Ethereum ecosystem. Part of it good MEV, part of it bad MEV. But it shows a bit of a problem here. And at the same time, it does more than just cause toxic MEV. It also delays transactions in the form of real-time censorship. So to combat that, a number of different projects have come together and put together a solution called private mempools. And so this is a measure that goes and allows people to bypass the public mempool and go to private infrastructure that protects people against these attacks. And it actually has worked quite well. I mean, it's really reduced the amount of MEV attacks on the Ethereum ecosystem. It's been great, but also it's kind of created a little bit of awkwardness, in that a lot of the traffic has gone from the public infrastructure to private infrastructure, and within this, it has led to some centralization. And because Ethereum was meant to be trustless and decentralized, it's moved to a point where you also have to trust a small group of people to make certain that it's carried and your transaction is treated in the right way, and that it's not leaked, and then it's not front run themselves. So that's caused a little bit of a problem. So this has been working for quite a while, but it's not the only solution out there, which leads us to encrypted mempools, which is a more decentralized way of providing this protection against malicious MEV, but also protection for censorship. And then greater guarantees against front-running and sandwich attacks. So, but the question is, what the fuck is an encrypted mempool, which I want to go into. So for the people that are unfamiliar, say we go and we launch an encrypted mempool, it's connected to your wallet. You go send an encrypted transaction. Instead of going to a private mempool, it goes to a public mempool, but it is encrypted. During this period, your transaction is encrypted. It goes in the public mempool. People can see the transaction, but they can't see the contents inside of it. So the important data within it is hidden. And it's not just hidden from a few, it's hidden from literally everyone. That provides the greater protection guarantees on that. Then once it's done and confirmed on the block, then it's decrypted. And then once it's finalized and been ordered, it is confirmed on the block and decrypted as well. Now, there are more nuances, there are more details that I could go into, which we could share a little bit later, but just wanted to give a baseline understanding of it. And within this, there's a lot of different benefits within it. So again, I won't go into full details on this, but front-running sandwich attack protection, protection against censorship, which helps us. It works very well with Fossil and EPBS, which we like to call completing the holy trinity of censorship resistance on Ethereum. By doing this, it also brings the order flow back to the public mempool, thus ending the partial monopoly that we have on private mempools, giving people another option for going and sending their transaction, and by there reducing builder censorship and increasing trust within institutions, and from there creating fair markets and greater maximum liquidity. So Shutter Network, the team I'm with, has been working on encrypted mempools for quite a while. We have a live implementation on Gnosis chain since 2024. We've done beacon chain research. We've gone and done test nets. We've been at this for a long time. And one thing we've been pushing for a while is we've been wanting to get this on the Ethereum roadmap. Now, we've been in conversations with a number of people for a while for this, and the reception of we get this is it's good, but it's been kind of mixed, in that it's nice to have and it is important, but it's not the priority. So it got kind of frustrating to a point where we went and we launched an EIP ourselves, EIP 8105 back in December 2025. And starting out was a bit slow. We did get some interest and it was exciting. And then from there, after a few weeks, we were met with a lot of positive reception. in the form other people going and launching their own EIPs and proposals for encrypted mempools. So it started a little bit of a cascade of more projects going and more groups proposing. So shortly after the Lucid EIP was proposed, which was proposed with some folks from EF and other groups as well. And then from there, encrypted frame transaction was proposed as well. And we're quite excited about this, seeing more people going and proposing more encrypted mempools, because we did not want to be the only ones focused on this. We wanted to, it's a larger group focusing on this. So it was actually a surprise to see that the Lucid Encrypted Mempool EIP folks saw us launch our EIP, and it put a little bit of fire under their belly to go and put theirs on there, although they'd been thinking about it for a while. And then from there, EMs also got put on the strawman roadmap for Ethereum for iStar, which also helped build momentum. And then from there, it actually grew into something a little bit even better. We've decided to form a coalition with the folks that were working on Lucid EIP. So instead of multiple teams with their own initiatives, we started working together on that, which was a quite powerful way of doing it. And now, while there were different perceptions and we all didn't agree on every aspect of it, we believe that we needed a crypto mempool on Ethereum, so we came together and with the belief that we would go work out some of the details later on, which we're working on at the moment. So just want to give a quick overview of some of the learning points that we have on this. From here, what went well on the initiative that we were doing? So one is, at the very beginning, we put together a hit list of all the people we needed to reach out to for pushing this EIP. We identified our allies, looked at the neutral parties and detractors, and then we went out and started doing our outreach. From there, we decided that we were going to focus on action more than overthinking, so very quick and very agile with our things as well. Big thing was also combining forces instead of competing. Another big one was comm segmenting. We knew that we were working with core devs and we needed to be more complex and more careful with the way we communicated. But at the same time, if we're on X, we needed to focus on simplicity for the rest. So I think that segmenting was very useful as well. And then from there, I think going and having these prior case studies and implementations on Gnosis Chain was also very powerful. So what we learned, I think, is very useful for those that are putting their own AP or doing any other marketing initiative within this space. So one is core devs are absolutely brilliant. They're working on a lot of things, but they're a bit overworked and they can't adequately assess some of these things. So it's making certain that when you go and you put together EIP, you put it together very neatly, make it easily digestible, and you're there to answer questions and support them. The other one is you need a strong champion for any EIP that you put together. I was very impressed with the champion for frame transactions. Was it a Get developer called Light Client? He single-handedly helped push the frame transactions through the EIP process for Hagoda. And although it wasn't selected as a headliner, it's considered for inclusion for Hagoda. And I think he was one of the strong proponents that kept it moving. It's also good to have case studies and simulations ready for your EIP if you were to go in that space. So that was something we could have done better on. And getting feedback from the Ethereum client teams earlier also would have been more important. Before I go into the open discussion, just want to quickly show what's next on this. So now that we've gone and we've reached this stage, we're going and pushing for encrypted mempools on iStar. And so what's next is we're going and getting feedback, making improvements. We've already gotten feedback from people so far, and we're doing that. We're looking and developing some live implementations with Aragon on Ethereum, and we're looking to do an out-of-protocol one with Primev. And then we're looking to develop a number of different initiatives, such as a transaction simulator and expanding outreach and building a larger coalition. So with that said, for those that are looking to get involved with encrypted mempools and this initiative to push on Ethereum, there's a couple ways to get involved. So we have an EIP EM structure working group that's already been set up by Justin Florentine that meets weekly. The next one is going to be, yeah, sorry, these are older slides. So on the 15th of April. So you can sign up and come join this. But we also have a BizComms marketing group as well for those that we need to go reach out to wallets. We need to reach out to do more market research, partnerships, and you can get involved as well. That one's actually going to be on the 8th for next week. So you can use this form to just give your contact details, and then we can follow up with you as well. So I just want to open the floor for, we have a few minutes for questions. If you have any questions about the EIP process and crypto mempools, happy to answer. We also have some of our developer team as well here. Question over there.
Hi, do you think like a modified version of Fossil that maybe lets like the validator committee communicate like a directed acyclic graph of transactions in the mempool could get like a lot of the effective encrypted mempool, but like be kind of more along the lines of Fossil? Like, do you think there's a way to do that?
That's probably a good question for our developer on our team. Hold that question for a second. I can get probably Yannick to answer that in a second, but does anyone else have any other questions as well? Non-technical? Otherwise, I can pass it to Yannick to help answer. Sorry, can you pass the mic to him?
We don't have a lot of time, but 1 minute maybe?
Maybe one question. Thank you.
Yeah, probably better if we talk afterwards because I didn't fully understand the question. In general, I think it's difficult to merge like different views on ordering and find like a compromise in a way that's unbiasable. So I'm a little bit skeptical that it works differently, but maybe. Yeah.
Cool. Any additional questions? Maybe room for one more? Okay, cool. So anyways, encrypt the mempool. We're pushing for this. It's going to go in an iStar. We need to raise more awareness. And so if you guys see this on X, you see people going and promoting this, get involved. We want to make this work because we want to make Ethereum the best platform for trading. We want to have one that's safe platform for trading and open for all. So thank you so much for joining today. We have some buttons in the back for everyone. Thank you.